You know, when you look up the name Brock Lesnar in the dictionary, you will probably find the words such as absent, ghost, irrelevant, just pertaining to the championship that he holds, lazy. But Brock Lesnar, somehow, someway, through all this missed time on WWE TV, has all the time in the fucking world to show up on UFC's TV, at UFC 226. He's got all the time in the world to plan out a storyline here with Daniel Cormier for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. Brock Lesnar, coming out of WrestleMania 34, has not been seen on WWE television. And he's got Vince McMahon by the balls. This guy's got Vince McMahon by the balls. There were rumors, and that's all they were. That's all I knew they were. They were rumors that Brock Lesnar would not be showing up in New York, in Brooklyn, at SummerSlam. And I looked at everybody flipping out. How could he not show up? Why wouldn't WWE strip him of the title? Blah, blah, blah. And I sat here exactly like this. Not giving a single fuck. Looking at everybody run around with their fucking heads cut off. Worrying for no reason. And all I stated was SummerSlam is the second biggest pay-per-view of WWE's year. On what planet do you think Vince McMahon is living on? Now, most of the days we know that he is just completely out of his fucking mind. He may not even be a human being at this point, just based on what we're seeing with Raw and SmackDown and how terrible they are. But do you honestly think that WWE and Vince McMahon would allow Brock Lesnar to miss the second biggest pay-per-view of the year? Did you really expect Brock Lesnar to miss SummerSlam, which would probably mean he misses the rest of the year without defending the Universal Championship? Come on now, man. Come on now, bruh. Brock Lesnar will not be missing SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar may be lazy. Brock Lesnar may be holding one of the most worthless championships in existence, but he certainly isn't missing SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar will now defend the WWE Universal Championship at SummerSlam. Somehow it has been confirmed. This week, yesterday, it was confirmed that Brock Lesnar will be defending the Universal Championship. Yesterday this was confirmed. If you believed any of these stories, you are a simpleton. You are a gullible fuck. Brock Lesnar was never missing SummerSlam, people. Brock Lesnar will be in New York City defending the title against God knows who. Shouldn't be Roman. It shouldn't be Lashley. I don't give a fuck who he defends the title against. Just drop the fucking title. Get it off of him. Braun Strowman, undoubtedly, 100%, is going to be the Universal Champion. Just do what you need to do. Get the title from one beast to another. And let's call it a day. We could all sit here and wonder, what if? We could all sit here and wonder about Brock Lesnar's title reign, if it was worth all this fucking time and effort and trouble. The answer is no. Just give the title to somebody else who is actually on Raw. That's not going to make any difference to the quality of the show, but at least we could stop talking about this fucking irrelevant garbage. Lesnar is in no position to be holding championship gold in WWE. The guy is aging. He just had a birthday. I don't know how old he is. I believe he just turned 41 if I'm not mistaken. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Lesnar just turned 41. He is in his early 40s now. He's going to maximize where he sees fit to make the most money so that he can live a happy and healthy life. Brock Lesnar doesn't give a fuck about quality or the body of work that he gives to the WWE. He's just there to collect a paycheck that Vince McMahon signs, and then he's got McMahon by the balls because he knows McMahon values his name, and McMahon's going to allow him to go to the UFC and do whatever the fuck he wants, where he will make more money. Lesnar was never going to miss SummerSlam. Bryan Alvarez and Dave Meltzer, Wrestling Observer Live, reported that it was not confirmed, but it was assumed that Lesnar would be wrestling at SummerSlam. Oh, it was confirmed. An idiot could figure this one out. Something apparently changed during the last few hours on Thursday, because Bryan Alvarez sent out the following tweet, basically confirming that Lesnar will be defending the Universal Championship in Brooklyn next month. He tweeted, and I quote, "Brock is defending the title at SummerSlam, and the sky is fucking blue." No shit, Mr. Alvarez. At this point, it is not clear who he will face on the show. The Trash Man, Bobby Trashley, versus Roman Reigns is scheduled for Sunday at Extreme Rules, but they have never stated that the match would be to determine the number one contender, which makes it even worse how this fucking match is going on in the main event. The original plan was for a 6-pack challenge, a multi-man match to determine Lesnar's next challenger, but that was scrapped in favor of Lashley versus Reigns, which, like I said, would probably end up being the main event of this lame Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Now, I guess we will find out what's going to happen moving into SummerSlam at the end of Extreme Rules, and most certainly on Monday Night Raw when the hype for SummerSlam actually starts. Now, we have made this an ongoing issue on this show. How Vince McMahon's strategy to get people to hate Lesnar and get sympathy for Roman Reigns has gone into effect. Vince McMahon wants people to hate Lesnar and have sympathy for Roman Reigns by whatever means possible. Whether that's the fact that Lesnar doesn't show up and Reigns keeps crying about wanting the title and how we have a champion that doesn't show up. Cry me a river, Mr. Roman Reigns. Or the fact that he can't get the job done against anybody, not just Reigns, and he can't even put himself in position to get a title shot against Reigns. And we're supposed, or against Lesnar rather, is Reigns. And people will feel sympathy for him. Yeah, that's going to work, Vince. That's really going to work. Lesnar is also, apparently, don't quote me on this, is also booked for the Raw after SummerSlam in Brooklyn. Now, why Lesnar, after this charade that he pulled at UFC 226, why he was not mentioned on the go-home show for Extreme Rules? Why did Vince McMahon leave Lesnar off the show and just make it blatantly obvious after everybody was talking about Lesnar the night before, or the weekend before, on Saturday, why Lesnar wouldn't have been mentioned on Monday Night Raw? Dave Meltzer reported in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Vince McMahon made the decision to not mention Brock Lesnar, opting to focus on building towards Sunday's Extreme Rules pay-per-view instead. Yeah, because we all collectively give a fuck about Extreme Rules, right? Meanwhile, we're all talking about what Brock Lesnar did. He is single-handedly more important, and what he did is more important than everything on Extreme Rules. Everything surrounding Brock Lesnar is more important than what you are doing right now on Raw. Yet you failed to mention the number one trending athlete in the sport right now. McMahon reportedly told everyone at the production meeting before Raw took place that Lesnar's name was to not be mentioned at any point, and that they can start talking about him again when he's being offered to our audience, and we can capitalize on it. Capitalize on what? Capitalize on it? What is exactly it? You should have capitalized on Lesnar. The fucking... As soon as Raw started, you should have capitalized on Lesnar. What is it? The sooner we can capitalize on it. What is it, Roman? The Roman Initiative is exactly what it is. This is smart booking, according to some, by WWE, in order to keep the focus on their product. Yeah, the focus is really on their product when Monday Night Raw suffered their lowest viewership in its history. Yeah, sure. Rather than what's happening on what should be considered a rival's product in the UFC, but at some point or another, they will have to acknowledge it. The Universal Champion is currently not advertised for any other appearance until SummerSlam at the Barclays Center, where he is expected to defend the WWE Universal Championship. Having the Beast, Lesnar, perform a match at SummerSlam and have him drop the Universal Championship and move on to UFC without leaving any loose ends in the WWE is what needs to happen. As for how WWE wants to book Lesnar before he leaves, Meltzer noted that McMahon is adamant about creating the idea that Lesnar is turning his back on the fans. Nobody is going to give a shit. Do you think that we forgot what happened at WrestleMania? Nobody gave a fuck at the end if Lesnar turned his back on the fans or not. I don't see how this is going to work. It's like these people are fucking stuck in a sea of stupidity and they can't find their way home. If you want to do Lesnar and Reigns, go ahead. Go ahead. The match is going to blow up in your face worse than it was in New Orleans. And you're going to have to use the card known as Braun Strowman to get yourself out of this fucking mess that you refuse to see. If Braun Strowman is not the Universal Champion coming out of SummerSlam, then WWE will have fucked up. And I mean, at the end of SummerSlam. I'm not talking about Raw. I'm not talking about a week after SummerSlam. Braun Strowman needs to be the Universal Champion at the end of that pay-per-view on August 19th. That is their only way out of this. The fans don't give a fuck if Lesnar turned their back or turned his back on them. Nobody gives a fuck about that. When Lesnar comes back, he is that must-see that people are actually going to have the opposite reaction. People are going to be excited to see him because we haven't seen him since April. Roman Reigns is not going to get sympathy from the fans no matter how you spin it. People want to see him lose. They don't feel bad for him. How are we supposed to feel bad for Roman Reigns when he comes on TV every week and states that he's the big dog and that this is his yard and how he's main evented 4 WrestleManias in a row? You know, if you really want to create a new star out of all this, this is what WWE should have been doing from the get-go. Lashley should have came in heel. Lashley should have been dominating opponents on Monday Night Raw. Lashley should fucking decimate Roman Reigns in the same way that Brock Lesnar decimated John Cena several SummerSlams ago. That's what needs to happen. Lashley should kill Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules, dominate him. And then he should go on to dominate Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. You want to create a new star? There you go. I don't know how many other new stars you're going to create with this fucking anomaly here. The absentee known as Brock Lesnar holding a fucking worthless championship. Lashley stating that he has the tools to take down Brock Lesnar, then maybe you should book the guy who's got all the tools to take down Brock Lesnar and book him accordingly. I don't give a fuck about Bobby Lashley. But if he's going to go on TV and state that he's got all the tools to beat Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, maybe you should put him over in a dominating way, and maybe things would change for the better, and people would start believing in Bobby Lashley and taking him seriously. This has mess written all over it. This has mess written all over it. How are you going to get me Roman Reigns? If Roman Reigns loses, which I predicted at Extreme Rules, if Roman Reigns loses here, and the reason why I stated Roman Reigns is going to lose at Extreme Rules is because there's nothing on the line. If there was a number one contendership on the line for SummerSlam, I would have said, yeah, Roman Reigns is definitely going to win. But the fact that Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley are in a main event match with nothing on the line, I'm going with Bobby Lashley. Because I think that WWE is going to continue to push the initiative that we should have sympathy for Roman Reigns because he can't win the big one. And all he wants is Lesnar. He wants one more chance at the Beast, and he can't get it. Yeah, I'm going to fucking go out there and feel bad for Roman. WWE has went about this the wrong way. And they try, and they try, and they try. For the last 4 years, they've tried. And now they're trying the same thing that they did. The same exact thing. But this time, there's a spin on it. Then it was Lesnar not giving a fuck about the fans, something that we already knew. Then it was Lesnar not giving a fuck about the WWE and the men and women in the WWE locker room. We already knew that. Tell me something I don't know. But then it was Reigns bringing the obvious to people, and they didn't give a shit. Now WWE's giving you the same storyline, but the only wrinkle in this storyline is Roman Reigns isn't too confident in his abilities. Roman Reigns can't get the job done. Roman Reigns is crying, and Lesnar is going about doing whatever the fuck he wants, and WWE management is not doing anything about it. They're not really adhering to Roman Reigns' cries about having the Universal Champion on the show or him getting another shot at the Universal Champion. And then he's trying so desperately to get that shot and prove to management that he deserves a shot that he continues to lose. Thus, we are supposed to feel sympathy for him. It's the same storyline, but Roman Reigns is playing role reversal. Confident big dog in April, loser in July and August. If you think that's going to work, you might be the dumbest motherfucker I have ever seen. I hope to God, just like we were all celebrating Monday Night Raw's fucking dismal ratings, I pray that WWE has this blow up in their face. I hope Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania becomes Chicago's second son. I hope Pittsburgh follows the same routine that Chicago did. And I hope everything under the fucking sun is chanted at both Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns, because this is awful. This does not belong in the main event. We do not believe in either of these men. And the guys that WWE are presenting Brock Lesnar for a match at SummerSlam, it's not the guys that we want. It's not the Strowmans and the Rollins, and you could probably put Elias in there. WWE is giving us uncharismatic fucking garbage. Guys who absolutely bore you to tears. One in which has no personality whatsoever. He's nothing more than a fucking sweatband. And Roman Reigns has been pushed for 4 years and has become the biggest creative failure that this company has ever seen. And that's who you're going to put against Brock Lesnar. Yeah, but fuck Seth Rollins, though. Fuck Seth Rollins, though. Guys, wrestled his fucking heart out. Showed everybody why he deserves the Universal Championship. Showed everybody that he could bring Brock Lesnar to a great fucking match. Just go back and reference AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. If you don't think they can do that with Seth Rollins, then you, my friend, are a fucking asshole. I hope this blows up in their face. Seriously. Lesnar, he'll be at SummerSlam. But I guarantee you, whomever they put him against, you're not going to give a fuck about. And Braun Strowman, he's that fucking ace in the hole. WWE's going to have to put that shit on the fucking table if they want to salvage what is going to be a absolute fucking boring snooze fest that is going to be sabotaged by the New York City faithful. Braun Strowman is their only way out. Roman, you can cry all you want about a Universal Championship. That ship has fucking sailed. Roman, in my eyes, should never even once touch that Universal Championship. It's over. It's over. The experiment is over. If this does not get the desired result for Vince McMahon, I don't know what else you could do. Turn him heel. I got more Brock Lesnar lose. I got more Brock Lesnar news. Loser, Roman Reigns. I got more Brock Lesnar news after the intro. This is episode 230 of Off the Script. This is part number 2 for your Saturday afternoon, July 14th, 2018. We're going to hit the intro. I'll be back with more news right here on Off the Script. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth.
And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese.
I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not.
WWE's great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and anyway, Okada. Delete! What is it, man? Can I suck your dick? What is it, man?
Well, this is the #1 fucking podcast.
Right here on YouTube.com!
This is Off the Script. You know, I recorded 2 hours and 16 minutes of Off the Script yesterday, and there was one thing that I absolutely was kicking myself in the ass for forgetting. If you guys are a part of my Patreon page, you guys get early access to whatever I do. And I made mention that I want to bring back Off the Script Retro, where we talk about retro WWF, WWE pay-per-views. Now, the concept was supposed to be for Eric Bischoff's failed IRW network, where everybody was freaking out in the wrestling community because of the demonetization, and wrestling content creators were going crazy, and I believe it was Bischoff and Nick Hausman that tried to get that project up off the ground. I haven't heard a peep of it since. Eric Bischoff went on to do his own thing with 83 Weeks and Conrad Thompson. I don't know. Whatever. So, I'm bringing Off the Script Retro back. And if you are a $5 or more patron to me monthly, if you guys want to become a $5 a month patron to me, the 1993 King of the Ring, one of the most beloved pay-per-views of all time, probably my favorite pay-per-view ever. Definitely one of the greatest pay-per-views in the history of the WWE. I did over an hour of extra audio this week before I go to Pittsburgh for you guys. It's been up on Patreon right now for a couple of days. I forgot to mention it to you guys yesterday. So if you are a Patreon to me and you want extra audio, there you go. It is there for you guys in video form, all of its glory. I talk about the big thing that came out of the 1993 King of the Ring, which was Bret the Hitman Hart not really getting the title shot that he deserved against Hulk Hogan. And then we talk about the Lex Express. We talk about what happened to Bret Hart following the King of the Ring. We talk about my favorite matches and moments from that pay-per-view. If you guys are a Patreon, it's there for you. If you guys want to become a Patreon, all you have to do to get extra audio, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. And I'm going to try and get these out for you guys on a monthly basis. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing next. We'll figure it out. But the 1993 King of the Ring, I figured, was a great starting point for me and for you guys because it definitely is one of WWE's best pay-per-views ever. I am in Pittsburgh, not in this video, I'm still in the Bronx, but as you guys watch this on Saturday, I am in Pittsburgh. I'm probably with Brian Ghoulish. I'm probably drinking a few cold ones. We're going to be heading towards Las Vegas Mexican Restaurant in just a little bit. We'll be there at 7 o'clock. Having good old-fashioned Mexican food, man. Drink specials, food specials, meet and greet at Las Vegas Mexican Restaurant. We got the whole run of the place, man. Come on down. JD is in Pittsburgh. So if you guys want to meet me, you guys know where I'll be. And then tomorrow, for Extreme Fools Sunday, I'll be with the franchise, Shane Douglas, the greatest ECW champion of all time. Make sure you guys come on out to Terrace on 5th, man. Rooftop bar. 3 syllables that make my fucking my heart happy. Rooftop bar. So you guys know where I'll be and what I'll be doing. Come on down, have a cold beverage. Guinness is always accepted. Actually, not Guinness. Let's go with a Justin LeBar reality check, man. Vodka tonic. Make it a double. Guinness is too heavy for the summertime. But I'll have a Guinness here and there, but we'll see what happens. But I'll be there, man. Terrace on 5th. I'll be there with Brian Ghoulish, Shane Douglas, the crew at Wrestle Rumble. I'm going to try and meet up with Justin LeBar and Drew Badalla, Ticket Drew. They got their own event going on with Conrad Thompson. I can't even speak today. I don't know what the fuck is going on, man. I can't even fucking speak today. But they got something going on with the Something to Wrestle With guys, Pritchard and Thompson. So if you guys want to come on down, like I said, hopefully we'll have something to do with those guys at the end of Extreme Rules. It's going to be a good night, man. It's going to be a good night. Our event is free to enter. So if you guys want to come on down, my live off the script meet and greet, going to be free. So we should have a damn good time, and I hope to see you guys at Las Vegas tonight, and then at Terrace on 5th, Sunday, right before Extreme Rules. It's literally right across the street from the PPG Paints Arena. If you guys missed yesterday's Off the Script, man, we talk about literally everything. We got more Brock Lesnar news coming up in just a little bit. I got more women's news for the Mae Young Classic. So we'll go over all that stuff. But what we talked about in part 1 was the G1 Supercard that was announced for Ring of Honor and New Japan at Madison Square Garden. I dissected it, I think, beautifully yesterday. And I gave you all the biggest talking points that people are going to be talking about for weeks on end with this announcement. We also talked about WWE wanting to get together a women's pay-per-view, a women's-only show. And we don't know what that entails. We don't know what that's going to include, who it's going to include, when it's going to be, how it's going to be done, where it's going to be showcased. We don't know. We don't know. But we talked about that, and we did Extreme Rules preview and predictions. All of that jam-packed into one show on Friday, man. So if you missed it, go and check it out. Thank you guys so much for the support. If you missed anything else that I did an off-the-script extra where we talked about Vince McMahon wanting to do 2 WrestleManias in 2020 rather. 2022 WrestleManias. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, and NXT reviews are also live as well on the channel. Please make sure you guys go and check that stuff out. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell so you guys know when to just head over to the channel and you'll see when I upload. You'll be notified when I upload, hopefully. Hopefully. So make sure you guys are subscribed and turn on that bell for all notifications, man. Also, we debuted yesterday my brother's new song, his new single, Badge of Honor. Members of Legionary and Condition Critical, again, come together for one super group, one song, and it's fucking awesome, man. It was debuted on yesterday's show. If you guys want to go check that stuff out, if you guys want to continue to support my brother, go give him a subscribe on YouTube. Go find them on Bandcamp. Link is down in the description. Go and purchase the song. Not only do you get his new song, but you get the off-the-script theme song as well, written by Frank, my brother, and Tony of Condition Critical, man. So it's a great way to just support him and what he's doing and also support Off the Script, man. If I'm meeting you guys today, man, you better be wearing some fucking t-shirts. Seriously. I better be seeing and this empire is still not over shit. I better be seeing you wearing They Do It for Roman. I better be seeing you guys wear the Failure Raha t-shirt. Or whatever is on Barbershop Window, man. There's 15 designs right now on Barbershop Window. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys go and get your merchandise right now. Harrys.com/script for your free trial shave set. Best shave of your life, guaranteed. Make sure you guys go and do that. And Audible. You guys are going to get 1 month free of Audible service, plus 1 free audiobook of your choice. Over 190,000 choices to choose from. And if you have already signed up yourself, give the gift of Audible, man. Tell a family member, a friend, a coworker, your girlfriend's parents, whomever, man. Give the gift of Audible. It's the gift that keeps on giving, is what they say, right? The gift that keeps on giving. Just give it around, spread it around, man. It's a great way to support Off the Script. And as always, there you go. Today and tomorrow. There you go, man. Shane Douglas, Russell Rumble, Off the Script, Brian Ghoulish. It's going to be a great 2 days, man. So come on out and celebrate Off the Script live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Should be loads of fun, man. So thank you guys so very much. What do I want to start the show off with today? I don't know. I think we'll start off with some Extreme Rules. Late news for you guys right before tomorrow's show. WWE officials do not want Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley to main event Extreme Rules. I wonder why. But will it even matter at this point? Does Vince McMahon give a shit? Probably not. Featuring in the main event of a pay-per-view seems to be a much bigger deal now. It's been a big deal for WWE this year alone because every time we look at a main event, it's always Roman. Every time we look at a main event, there's nothing on the line. Every time we look at a main event, the WWE Championship is not there. Perhaps most of the blame falls on Vince McMahon. And you could probably lump Brock Lesnar into that equation as well. As the Universal Champion not being featured on programming has seen non-title matches go on last time and time again. Evidently, the WWE Championship match should always be featured in the main event. Always. I don't give a fuck who is in the title match. I don't give a shit what's going on, if there's a stipulation or not. I don't give a fuck what ending you have planned. The WWE Championship should always be featured in the main event. The WWE Championship should be above the Universal Championship. No one superstar is bigger than the WWE Championship. But that doesn't mean jack shit nowadays to Vince McMahon. Instead, it's Monday Night Raw who always seems to get the coveted main event spot, and it's not something a lot of fans are entirely pleased by. For example, there were plenty of people who were upset towards Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe main eventing the Backlash pay-per-view. Aptly named Backlash because there was a ton of backlash when Mr. Roman Reigns was in the main event for absolutely no reason. Absolutely no reason in a feud that was going nowhere against Samoa Joe, who at the time wasn't even on Monday Night Raw. He was on SmackDown. There was online negativity. Fans were booing in the arena, and they left early. And don't believe these shills like Sam Roberts, who goes on his show to say, well, it was late, and the kids got school, and the fathers and the parents got work. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. If that was the case, they would have left way before 11 o'clock. They knew Roman was coming on. Are they going to just sit there and have their kids cry, scream, bitch, and moan because they have to go home during a Roman Reigns match? Or were the crowd genuinely upset that Roman Reigns was in yet another undeserved main event against Samoa Joe in a match that stunk up the fucking place? It was absolutely garbage. Whoever produced it should be fucking fired. Beat the traffic is not something that the fathers and the parents, the mothers, the kids are going to be chanting during the main event of a show. Beat the traffic. This is boring. Yeah, sure. Yeah, those are people who can't wait to get home and go to sleep because they got work in the morning. Fuck out of here. The fact that AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE title was on the line probably played a role in that. And the fact that that match wasn't that bad at all for the WWE Championship, did not main event, is absolutely pathetic. Now, everybody's like, oh, you should have looked at it after the fact. After what fact? I don't give a fuck how AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura ended at Backlash. I don't give a shit if it was a no contest. I would have much rather had the pay-per-view go off the air with that and the WWE Championship than people booing for Roman and Samoa Joe to get the fuck out of the ring. Yeah, because Roman Reigns being the big dog and celebrating a victory over Samoa Joe that was absolutely meaningless was much better than having the WWE title on last, right? AJ Styles, mind you. Now the focus is on Extreme Rules and the contest, which is expected to main event. According to several reports that leaked on Friday, the expectation is that Roman Reigns and the Trash Man, Bobby Trashley, will feature Extreme Rules as its main event. Even though there's no stipulation to the match, which is the entire point of a gimmick for a pay-per-view like Extreme Rules. This match is a standard one-on-one match, one fall to a finish. This match has no stipulation. This match isn't even an Extreme Rules match. Now, maybe WWE could change that the day of on the pre-show. We don't know. But as of right now, the match has no Extreme Rules stipulation, has no stipulation whatsoever. The match is for nothing. The match is not for a title, not for a title shot. The only thing that this match is for Vince McMahon's sexual pleasure. And if you guys want to quote me on that, by all means do so. This match is for nothing more than Vince McMahon's sexual pleasure. Guarantee you he's going to be pitching a fucking massive hard-on during this match. Roman in the main event again. Bobby Lashley is there. He's coming on up. He looks good next to Roman Reigns. Isn't that right, Kevin Dunn?
Oh, Vince, I don't know if Bobby Lashley is a fan of wood, man. Look at how white his teeth are. You know, I have to get the number of his dentist.
This match should not be in the main event. And for those who don't like my Kevin Dunn impression, you all can get on your hands and knees and do what Vince does to Roman. Suck my dick. People enjoy Kevin Dunn. For Christ's sakes, he's on a fucking t-shirt. Now, WWE officials are against this happening. Lashley and Reigns isn't the direction that some WWE officials want to go in when it comes to the main event of the final pay-per-view before SummerSlam. Rather surprisingly, the WWE Championship between AJ Styles and Rusev is receiving almost zero support for a main event. Now, I don't know why. I don't know if people just genuinely are disrespecting AJ Styles and not realizing it. I'm not sure if people are not very high up on Rusev to put him in the main event. But it's for the WWE Championship. Whatever AJ Styles and Rusev are battling over at Extreme Rules is more valuable than Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley. There is nothing good coming out of Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley in the main event. Nothing. You are headed down a dead-end street. This will result in nothing but failure. At least Rusev and AJ Styles can hang their heads high and say, well, we might not have main evented the show, but what we battled over was the biggest prize in the WWE. And that's what should be on in the main event. Now, there are other people who are actually reportedly pushing for Rollins and Ziggler to end the show, but it seems likely that their wishes are going to be only taken into consideration. I could certainly picture what's going on there. somebody would go to Vince's office and say,
Oh, Vince, can we get Roman and Lashley vote down the card? And can we get, Ziggler and Rollins in the main event?
We'll take that under consideration.
what that means is, we'll take it under consideration. That is disguising the real answer. And what the real answer is, fuck no! No, we're not going to do that. Because that's not what I want. But you got a good idea. I'll take it under advisement. Meanwhile, we all know that Rollins and Ziggler could easily main event any fucking show on any month. Any pay-per-view. Absolutely. And if you're sitting there and you're shaking your head, nope, Roman. The only people who want to see Roman in the main event are the fucking degenerates on Twitter with the Twitter handle Roman Reigns Kingdom for Life Sarah _J 45673. Those are the only people that want to see Roman Reigns in the main event. You can't refute that fact. Now, the people with a brain who want this to happen, Rollins and Ziggler, I'd love to see who these people are. I would love to physically shake their hand. The Intercontinental Championship is the most valuable thing on Monday Night Raw. And if Vince McMahon wants Monday Night Raw in the main event, I got no problem with the Intercontinental Championship main eventing a pay-per-view like Extreme Rules. Now, clearly, my stance on the WWE Championship is exactly that. I would put that on last. But if I was to choose between Lashley and Reigns or Rollins and Ziggler, one is more valuable than the other. And Rollins and Ziggler have every right to main event, especially if you book the ending properly. Now, if there's no fuck finish, and we get an instance in which, and we talked about this on yesterday's show, if we get an instance of Rollins losing a fall due to outside interference from McIntyre, and then he gets kicked out mid-match, then, it might not play into being a main event. And Rollins could go on and win it and overcome the odds there, and they could tell that story there. But if Rollins is going to be in a 2-on-1 situation the entire time, and then you got plans to bring back a Dean Ambrose from injury, and have him back up Rollins, and then give me a fucking heel turn from Dean Ambrose, I think that would be a great way to close out Extreme Rules, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know about you guys. Much better than what we got with fucking Bobby. What's going to happen with Bobby Lashley? Bobby Lashley wins, crowd's going to erupt in boos. Bobby Lashley wins, crowd's going to fucking just spew negative garbage at them. Roman Reigns wins, forget about it. If you guys watch Money in the Bank, just go back and watch Jinder Mahal versus Roman Reigns. That's all the reference you fucking need. And that wasn't even in the main event. Whatever you've been seeing with Roman Reigns is a common occurrence. It's a common theme. Doesn't matter if he's first, middle, or last. Why do you keep giving people what they don't want? People want Rollins. So give them Rollins. I don't get it. I don't get it. The prospect of Lashley and Reigns going on to challenge Lesnar for the Universal title, it seems that WWE will have that featured in the main event over Rollins and Ziggler. It's a damn fucking shame, man. It's an absolute fucking shame. I don't know where you guys stand on that. I'm pretty sure everybody listening to me is in agreement. Pretty sure you are in agreement with what is going on here with the main event of Extreme Rules. Now, one other thing here on Brock Lesnar, being that we're talking about Reigns and Lashley. We all know Brock Lesnar was caught doping. He was suspended and fined heavily by the USADA people, anti-doping agency, USADA. But Brock Lesnar we all know did not leave an impression or a great impression on the MMA genre or the MMA community during his last Octagon appearance. Now, a former UFC champ came out this week and stated that Brock Lesnar is still absolutely, no questions asked, 100% doping. Brock Lesnar fought a fan favorite knockout artist in Mark Hunt in the co-main event of UFC 200 back in 2016, despite winning the fight via unanimous decision. Lesnar had his win overturned to a no contest after he failed an in-competition United States Anti-Doping Agency drug test. Shortly after, Lesnar announced his retirement from the MMA before deciding to focus more on professional wrestling. That didn't last very long. On the heels of dropping his Universal Championship, Lesnar has been involved in discussions to return to the Octagon. He appeared at UFC 226 this past weekend on July 7th and confronted newly crowned UFC heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier. UFC President Dana White noted that the next heavyweight title fight will indeed be Lesnar vs. Cormier. An expected fight date is expected in the coming months, but Lesnar won't be eligible to fight again until January 9th due to his USADA drug testing failure, as he only re-entered the drug testing pool last week. Now that he's expected to return soon, the MMA community has come out in full force to voice their opinions on Lesnar coming back. One such voice is former UFC bantamweight champion Dominic Cruz. He was a recent guest on the Scott and BR show in San Diego and stated that he believes Lesnar is absolutely doping and will be surprised if he makes it to fight night. This is what he said, and I quote, "If he makes it to the fight, I would be shocked. And I just mean that because USADA is the toughest anti-doping system there is on planet Earth. And that guy is absolutely doping, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. And he's not been in mixed martial arts, so of course he's been doing that stuff. How they're going to get him to be clean on fight night is beyond me." End quote. I don't know what's going on, man. I really don't. I don't know what's going on with that. None of our business. If Dana White is bringing Lesnar back and he's already proclaiming this fight for January, February, whenever it takes place, he must have full faith in Brock Lesnar that he's going to clean up his act and not commit the same error and mistake again. You know? And I'm not sure if Vince McMahon wants that embarrassment either. Not that I think that Vince McMahon fucking cares. It's just, it doesn't look good for the WWE when you got Brock Lesnar, who is going to the UFC to fight, wins his fight unanimously, gets caught doping, but he doesn't get in trouble while he's on steroids, while he's doping in the WWE. Meanwhile, anybody else could be caught doping, boom, 30-day suspension, boom, 60-day suspension, boom, terminated. You can't have one guy go out there and do whatever the fuck he wants and then turn around and point blame to somebody else. Everybody's of equal fucking status. I don't give a fuck who you are. If Lesnar's caught, then he should be tested in WWE. Oh, but WWE doesn't test part-timers. I wouldn't even label Brock Lesnar as a fucking part-timer. He's a no-timer. He's a ghost-timer. I'm not sure if Vince McMahon wants that headache either. I know if I'm Vince McMahon, I don't want it. Somebody has to have faith in this guy that he's going to clean up his act. He ain't getting past these guys again. USADA. I don't know what's going to happen, but Dominic Cruz apparently thinks that Lesnar is doping. He may very well be doping. He's got 6 months to clean up his act. If not, his UFC career is probably done after that. And then he'll have nothing but WWE and Vince McMahon's checkbook to play with. Let me know what you guys think about that. Is there any way that Lesnar can get out of this and get clean by January? Is he going to be clean by January? Or you think Dominic Cruz is going to be right here and just say it's no way there's no way he's going to be passing the USADA drug test at all? How he gets past that drug test is beyond me, he says. Let me know what you guys think about that down below. WWE reveals several more names for the Mae Young Classic. Earlier this week, WWE announced that Caitlyn Celeste Bonin would be returning to the company as part of the Mae Young Classic. WWE announced today that 3 top international stars would be competing in the tournament. Those names are Io Shirai, Nicole Matthews from Canada, and Ginny, a British wrestling star. I believe Ginny was supposed to be on the UK special on night 1, fighting alongside Toni Storm for a shot at Shayna Baszler. But she got injured and they had to restart the match. It was a fatal 4-way. It was a triple threat. They have also announced that American Ninja Warrior Casey Nazario, I don't know how to pronounce her name, I fucked that up, will also be in the tournament this year. There are still plenty more names to be announced, but WWE will be spreading them out and more will be announced in the coming weeks. Catanzaro. Casey Catanzaro. There you go. Io Shirai signing with the WWE in Tokyo is considered to be one of the top female signings in the world. There was interest in her last year, but her neck issues prevented her from passing the WWE standard medical test. Catanzaro is someone that management is very high on. She was signed to a developmental deal earlier this year. Her lack of experience probably means that she is likely not going to make it to the finals, but it says something that she was picked to be spotlighted in this tournament this year. Matthews is a 12-year veteran from Vancouver and has wrestled all over the world, including Canada, the United States, England, Japan, and Australia. Ginny has been wrestling less than 3 years, but she's been getting some buzz on the independent scene this year. She was originally scheduled for a number 1 contenders fatal 4-way at the NXT UK shows last month, but she was injured during the match, believed to be a head injury, and the match was changed to a triple threat match, like I previously just mentioned. The original match was never completed, and it never aired, so Ginny has yet to make her WWE TV debut, so we'll see her during the Mae Young Classic. The tapings are scheduled to take place on Wednesday, August 8th, and Thursday, August 9th in Orlando's Full Sail University, the home of NXT and the site of last year's Mae Young Classic. I am expecting WWE to rectify everything from last year's Mae Young Classic. I felt like it was a good presentation, but it did not live up to the hype that everybody made it out to be. The presentation needs to be a little bit better. The crowd needs to be a little bit more into it and invested. WWE needs to get commentators there who are going to get you excited about what you're watching. And I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't want to hear anybody but Mauro Ranallo and Nigel McGuinness. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck if you want to bring Beth Phoenix in as a third color. I don't care. Put Beth Phoenix in there. Jim Ross did not do a good job last year. Jim Ross did not get me excited about the Mae Young Classic. Neither did Lita. They need a voice that's going to tell a story and get me to care about the competitors in this tournament. It's going to be a long 2 days. And Mauro Ranallo is the only voice I want to hear. When you have shit like this happening, I don't want to hear anybody but Ranallo. I hope that WWE can correct this. Now, everybody's saying JD, Io Shirai is going to win this. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm not really familiar with her. Obviously, I know of her name and what she's done. I've never seen her wrestle. This is going to be a first time for me. I'm very excited about that. Same thing with Kairi Sane in last year's Mae Young Classic. A lot of those women I've seen for the first time last year in the Mae Young Classic. If I'm to choose a winner right now, even with nobody really announced, I'm going with Toni Storm. I think WWE needs to go all in on Toni Storm this year. We'll see what happens. Shirai may win it. I don't know. I don't know how fully invested WWE is going to be in Shirai because Kairi Sane came out of the Mae Young Classic and she didn't do jack shit. So do you want to see that same thing happen to her? That happened to Kairi Sane last year? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I'm going with Toni Storm. She's a proven commodity. She did great in last year's Mae Young Classic. She had a great match with Shayna Baszler. She's going to be the face of the NXT UK Women's Division. There you go. That's what I'm going with. It's going to be exciting, man. Hopefully WWE can correct whatever they did with the original Mae Young Classic. Rey Mysterio is headed to New Japan Pro Wrestling this August, but he will remain in talks with WWE. Rey Mysterio is close to signing a new deal with WWE, but it looks like he will finish some commitments before the deal is actually signed. New Japan Pro Wrestling has announced that Mysterio will be wrestling on August 12th at Budokan Hall on the final show for this year's G1. This would be Mysterio's second match with New Japan Pro Wrestling following his debut at Dominion in Osaka, where he teamed with Jushin Liger and Hiroshi Tanahashi against Cody Rhodes, Marty Scurll, and Hangman Page. Mysterio was said that he would love to wrestle names like Will Ospreay, Liger, Scurll in singles matches, but it's not clear who will be his opponent in August. Mysterio and WWE are said to be close with contract talks. At this point, he is still scheduled for All In, but WWE could get in their way, and they would pull him out. So we'll see if that ends up happening. I don't think Rey Mysterio is going to sign anything with WWE until August and September are done. And then by October, we'll see Rey Mysterio back in the WWE. I already mentioned this, but Rey Mysterio is keeping himself busy, which he should be doing until he signs and commits to WWE, which right now is based on dates. He doesn't want a full-time schedule. He wants a part-time schedule. So he's going to keep himself busy. He's got commitments with New Japan. He wants to get a match with Ospreay probably, or Scurll that was reported here, and he's going to do All In. We don't know who he's going to be fighting at All In. It may actually be one of those guys. It can't be Scurll because I think Scurll is fighting Okada, and it may end up being Will Ospreay. We don't know. We really don't know, but I don't expect Rey Mysterio until October with WWE. I think WWE is going to want to nail down Rey Mysterio before that super show at the cricket grounds in Australia. I think they're going to want Mysterio for that. So I'm looking for Mysterio to come on in right before that so WWE can have him be on that show and add more star power and sell out, which is going to be a daunting task at 100,000 seats at that Australian cricket grounds in Australia, the 100,000 seat venue, man. It's going to be fucking ridiculous. Moving on here, man. Elias is in the news. He called out The Rock. Now, depending on where you read your news during WrestleMania season, Elias was actually supposed to be in a segment at WrestleMania with The Rock. That was originally planned. And then Elias didn't get nothing but an interference with John Cena when John Cena was calling out The Undertaker. As previously reported, The Rock is doing media interviews as he promotes his new movie Skyscraper, which actually doesn't look that bad. This week, The Rock has told WWE's Kathy Kelly that he can't wait to get back into a WWE ring. Can we believe him? Does he need WWE, or is he just being buddy-buddy? He has never closed the door on wrestling again, but things get complicated when movie filming takes place during WrestleMania season. The main reason why we haven't seen him wrestle a match in recent years is because of movie studio insurance. They do not want him taking risks in the ring and potentially injuring himself. With that said, if he were to wrestle again, then New York City at WrestleMania 35 would be a great start. WWE superstar Elias heard The Rock's comments, and he had some things to say when he was interviewed on Busted Open Radio. Elias said, and I quote, "I am well aware of all things that The Rock has done in the wrestling business and just in life. The guy is next level. He's a next level human being. I always get these comparisons here because he played a guitar a few times on television. Hollywood Rock is my favorite Rock, period. I just want to throw this out there. He's done that maybe 5 or 6 times on WWE television, on Monday Night Raw. Rock, if you're out there listening, I'm doing it every single week. I'm doing it in front of millions of people around the world every single week. I'm doing it in front of tens of thousands of people in person live at every show I go to. So why don't you come walk with Elias and I can show you how it's really done." End quote. Co-host Mark Henry encouraged fans to send messages to The Rock so he could walk with Elias. If a wrestling match is not possible, then maybe a Rock concert with Elias certainly would please everybody at WrestleMania. I think that's pretty interesting, man. That would be a pretty fucking awesome WrestleMania moment if you ask me. Elias is entertaining in his own right. And if we get The Rock with his fucking sarcastic sense of humor and his talent, mixing it up with Elias, boy, does that make Elias fucking a huge name, bigger than he is now. And that's going to be a memorable WrestleMania fucking moment, man, that I think could be on the top 15, 20 chart when WWE goes and does those fucking silly lists that they do. Top WrestleMania moments, that could be definitely a top WrestleMania moment, man. So Elias calling out The Rock. I don't want to see Elias wrestle The Rock, but I think that is good enough for a WrestleMania segment in its own right. Them going back and forth, bantering back and forth, dueling guitars, and then it ends in a rock bottom, of course. Let me know what you guys think about that. I thought that was pretty cool. Moving on here, man. Moving on here. This is something that gets me very, very, very excited. WWE could be bringing back two of WCW's best pay-per-views ever in 2018. Now, you guys know how I always talk about revamping the WWE pay-per-view calendar, how I would take out these gimmick pay-per-views like Extreme Rules and Hell in a Cell, TLC. They got no place in the modern WWE world. They're very PG. You're not going to have a Hell in a Cell, and it's not going to be what we expect it to be. The Usos and the New Day delivered the best Hell in a Cell match in recent memory. But more times than not, they don't really deliver on these types of matches. Now, over the years, WWE's made a lot of changes to their pay-per-view events. Before reintroducing the brand split, pay-per-views would showcase the best feuds from the entire roster on the same night. More recently, since Vince McMahon split the company into Raw and SmackDown again, each brand has their separate Sunday night shows each month. Changing everything again, Vince McMahon has recently shook things up. Even though the brand split is still on, he's gone back to co-branded pay-per-views. This means that they've reduced the number of events that take place throughout the calendar year, and some shows will disappear. Now there's only one pay-per-view a month. It went from, I think, 19 to 16, now down to 12. Because WWE just wasn't selling out these shows, Livegate. People weren't really invested into these single-branded pay-per-views, and somehow they thought that they suffered. According to Ringside News, things could get more interesting as 2018 goes on, with WWE thinking about renaming some of their pay-per-views. The website reports that WWE are going to replace a number of their current pay-per-views with WCW versions. Apparently, two shows in particular have been speculated to make a return: Halloween Havoc and Starrcade. Now, I have been uttering this for fucking years. Do I have a crystal ball somewhere? Is somebody listening to my fucking show? I have mentioned this exact happening for years. Why it has not been put into effect is beyond me. Interestingly enough, Starrcade was used as a name of one of WWE's live special events last year in North Carolina that was not televised on the WWE Network. That may have been the first hint that McMahon is thinking about bringing back the pay-per-view that last aired in December 2000. Like Starrcade, the last Halloween Havoc took place in 2000. That was the 12th, and to this day, final pay-per-view of its name. As well as a return to WCW names being rumored, it is also believed that the number of pay-per-views will be airing at different times this year. With TLC reportedly scheduled to take place in October, the Super Showdown in Australia now is expected to air in October, and TLC was moved to December. Clash of Champions is airing at a different point in the year as well. From what I see, they got rid of it completely for now, but it could return in a different month. We could see it in September. September, they got Hell in a Cell. Clash of Champions, Night of Champions was a September staple. WWE should take out Hell in a Cell, get rid of that gimmick garbage, put Clash of Champions in September. Seriously. You guys want a rundown of what you need to do for the pay-per-view calendar? I'm going to give it to you right here off the top of the fucking head. January, Royal Rumble. February, you want to go back to the No Way Out? Go back to No Way Out, but feature the Elimination Chamber. Because that is the only gimmick that I actually like that fits so well into the WrestleMania plans. And being that you need it because you got two brands, it fits perfectly. The Elimination Chamber has become a staple on the road to WrestleMania. I would not get rid of it. I would not name the pay-per-view Elimination Chamber because that's just cheesy. No Way Out. Fits perfectly. You lock 6 fucking guys in a cage, boom. Nobody leaves until there's one left standing. There's no pay-per-view in March. I would not do a pay-per-view in March. That is the only month I would not have a pay-per-view. Because WrestleMania is the first week of April. Elimination Chamber or No Way Out usually happens, February 26th, 25th, at the end of the month. So having 4 weeks of March and then an added week in April for WrestleMania, WWE could get away with that. Then WrestleMania in April. We won't see another pay-per-view until May. If WWE wants to do Backlash, you can do Backlash. That's fine. June. Get rid of Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank does not need to be its own pay-per-view. Money in the Bank should be at WrestleMania. I've always said that. To me, it's lost its luster as a pay-per-view. I don't really care about it as a pay-per-view anymore. Money in the Bank should be at WrestleMania. King of the Ring needs to be included in June. That's what they need to do. And the winner of the King of the Ring will be number one contender for the title at SummerSlam, whichever brand wins it. Universal, WWE. You got your main event right there. Sets a foundation for WWE to have a title match set up already. And a storyline in place. King of the Ring in June. Bash at the Beach in July. Okay? Then August, you got SummerSlam. Then you got September. You got Clash of Champions or Night of Champions, where the entire pay-per-view is nothing but championship matches. Then you got October. You got Halloween Havoc. Then you got November, Survivor Series. And then in December, you got Starrcade. I just gave you what WWE's pay-per-view calendar should be. If you want to rock and roll and you want to change out May's pay-per-view and change the name, there you go. But I just gave you pay-per-views that should be staples for their accompanying month. May is the only one that's open. Backlash, whatever the fuck you want, Armageddon, whatever WWE has concocted over the years, that's open. What would you guys put in May? But that's what I would do. For the 12 months of pay-per-view in WWE, and you can have specials during the year. You want to bring back Saturday night's main event. You want to have these specials on the network, Greatest Royal Rumble, the Super Show in Australia. You got the Mae Young Classic. You got the Cruiserweight Classic I hope that they bring back eventually. And you got the UK stuff, takeovers. There's plenty to keep you busy throughout the year. But the core 12 pay-per-views should be stapled down the way I just laid it out for you. It's not that difficult. WWE hasn't confirmed any of these changes to their 2018 lineup, but it would be great to see both Starrcade and Halloween Havoc return as being staples to the WWE pay-per-view calendar. I love it. I think that's fucking awesome. We're going to end with this here, folks. We're going to end with this, and then I'm going to get the hell out of here. Because I got dinner to have, even though I'm still in New York. But by the time you see this, I'll be at Las Vegas Mexican restaurant having a cold beverage and a nice skirt steak. This is kind of pathetic, man. And, I'm going to give you a personal story of mine. That just happened on Tuesday. WWE Creative, when Daniel Bryan offers storyline suggestions, this is what WWE Creative does when Daniel Bryan himself offers storyline suggestions to WWE. Daniel Bryan might not be in a marquee feud right now on SmackDown Live, but he's still dominating headlines anywhere he goes, whether it's his contract situation, whether he's with, The Miz, and talk about his match at SummerSlam, potentially with The Miz. Sadly, it doesn't seem to be for the best reasons. A speculation right now that he could be on his way out of WWE. Several reports have emerged ever since he returned and competed at WrestleMania 34, where he and Shane McMahon defeated Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in New Orleans. With the former SmackDown general manager reportedly hiring the same agent as John Cena, it's been claimed that he would be in negotiation for a much better deal, which includes fewer dates, so he doesn't have to travel as much. And he could be at home with his wife, Brie, and his daughter, Birdie B. Now, although Bryan reportedly featuring in a big game mode for the upcoming WWE 2K19 video game is all but speculation at the moment, WWE is confident in that he is staying. And what happens on television suggests that they might not be 100% comfortable with that right now. The dream matches and feuds have been moved up. We've seen him and Joe. We've seen him and Styles. We've seen him and Nakamura on a fucking dark match, SmackDown Live. We've even seen him and The Miz overseas in Europe, I believe. Or we haven't seen it, but people who attended those shows did. Now, he could still end up battling The Miz as early as SummerSlam. We don't know yet. I would not do it right now. But if his contract is up and he is indeed leaving, then they have no choice because they need to finish the storyline. They need to finish whatever they were telling. Now, if he does sign, I wouldn't do it at SummerSlam. I would hold it till WrestleMania. And I would put the WWE Championship on the line. One thing that Bryan has always been is outspoken. Speaking to Gorilla Position, we recently played a clip from this. WWE and the creative team, they usually pitch ideas to the talent. This is what they got to do. This is where they're going to go, blah, blah, blah. Former WWE champion Daniel Bryan revealed that whenever he doesn't like an idea from the creative team, he provides his own suggestions on how things should be changed. However, he's revealed that WWE's creative team just ignores Bryan's input completely, but he refuses to fight it. According to Still Real to Us, he said, and I quote, "If I see stuff on the show that I don't like, I'll be like, okay, for my stuff, I'll go in and I'll say like, hey, I don't like this because of this, this, and this. Here's my idea how to fix it. I think this is better. And 95% of the time, nothing changes. But I'm not like, you need to do this or you need to do that or whatever it is. It's like, hey, this is my opinion from my experience with this business. And this is how I think it would work better for both me and whoever I'm working with. But I don't fight for it because I'm happy to be back." End quote. Evidently, Bryan knows what it takes to go over. If somebody as popular is providing suggestions, then perhaps it would be beneficial for the company to take them into consideration. If they're desperate not to lose Bryan, then having some creative input might be another thing he could be looking for in the long run. And I even reported that he is indeed looking for creative input on who he wants to work with and in what capacity. I was at the House of Glory School on Tuesday night, and I'm going to end here. As you guys know, I was sitting down with Amazing Red. I was sitting down with the production team, and in and out, walking through the back were some of the guys that are going to be featured on High Intensity 7, their big show in August. And one of the guys, one half of the tag team, the Masons, in House of Glory, Charles Mason, came in. And he was talking about where he wants to go with his current storyline and what he wants as far as storylines to follow and where he wants his team to be. And he was pitching ideas for promos and this and that. And I'm listening to him speak. And I'm saying to myself, man, this guy's got good ideas. This guy's got good ideas. I don't know why WWE or any wrestling promotion would not be open to listening to talent. You know, the talent is employed by the company. You don't have to do what the talent says. But if the talent has a better idea than you, and you're on the creative team, and their input is better than whatever you had pitched already, why wouldn't you use their idea, or at least take some of what they're doing and work with them to deliver the best product possible? Why would WWE have Daniel Bryan on their payroll and not listen to the mind that is Daniel Bryan? On what planet would you have Daniel Bryan on your roster and not listen to the creative input that this guy has for SmackDown Live to make it better? Who the fuck are you to think that you are the only one that matters in the creative process? Now, we all know what goes through Vince McMahon, but Vince McMahon's a fucking idiot. You don't know what the fucking fans want. You don't know what anybody wants besides Vince McMahon. He's going to do what he wants, what he thinks is right, and that's it. So in the end, Bryan's idea and the creative idea pitched from the fucking creative assholes in the back, they might not ever get used. But something has to be presented to Vince McMahon. So why aren't you working with talent to present the best possible outcome to Vince McMahon? Wouldn't you rather present something that is fucking great, a combined effort to Vince McMahon, than having him just fucking shit all over the fucking product in his own way, making it worse, making it unwatchable for everybody? I don't understand how they have this much talent in this company and they refuse to listen to anybody creatively. Justin Roberts had interviews with Solid Monster. He wrote it in his book. If you had an idea creatively, there was a sign in the back, and underneath the sign was a paper shredder. All your creative ideas go here, with an arrow pointing down into the paper shredder. It's like they don't fucking care. They employ these guys and they are slaves to the machine. But how you are not going to listen to the talent who are living the character that they are portraying on television? How could you get the best out of your character and your wrestlers? By writing for someone who you have no idea what their fucking character is or what they're about. They live and breathe the character every day. At least be open to hearing suggestions about what they need to do to get over. I'm listening to Charles Mason and House of Glory on Tuesday, and I'm listening, man, this guy's got a fucking great idea. This guy's got fucking a great mind here for his character and where he wants to go and for the tag team division. But here you got Daniel Bryan giving you his input on what he wants to do for his program and how to make it better, and you ignore his ideas. And then Daniel Bryan is so fucking humble and thankful that he's not going to fight it. He's just happy to have a fucking job. He's happy to be back wrestling, doing what he loves. He's not going to fucking argue with you. Guys like Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. These guys probably have creative ideas out the ass. Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy. I don't understand how you got all this fucking talent and you're not utilizing everybody to the best of their fucking knowledge and ability. That shit pisses me off. That really does. Goes to show you that WWE is clueless. They don't give a fuck about running a wrestling company. They don't. All they care about is how to get their rocks off, how to pad their own ego. They don't give a fuck. They don't want anybody else taking credit for something. Instead of making the product better and being proud of what goes on television, it's like, oh, if it's not me, then we're not doing it. I want to be successful. Oh, Daniel Bryan came up with this? Fuck him. It's better than my idea. Fuck him. That's a shitty fucking mentality to just have. A shitty way to look at things, man. It's awful. That's why WWE's failing. They could use all the help they could get, and they refuse it. I'm getting out of here, man. Thank you guys so much for everything. If you're in Pittsburgh, please come on by Las Vegas Mexican Restaurant tonight. We're having dinner, drinks, and it's a little meet and greet, man. And then where we go after that, I don't know. And Sunday's the main event, man. Sunday is Extreme Rules, Off the Script Live with Shane Douglas at Terrace on 5th, right across from the PPG Paints Arena. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. If you guys missed any of my uploads in the annotation, please check out my brother's new music down in the description. And please make sure you guys go and support the podcast by any means necessary, man. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript, Harry's.com/script, audibletrial.com/offthescript. And if you guys want an extra hour of audio for your weeks, man, patreon.com/JD from NY206, a retro off-the-script review of the 1993 King of the Ring. Once again, that's patreon.com/JD from NY206. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in Pittsburgh this weekend. Have a great Saturday, and hopefully I'll see you guys, or some of you, tonight at Las Vegas Mexican Restaurant. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Extreme Rules. I'll talk to you later.